Natural physics is a concept astrophysicist Leroy Larry developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers, such as Leroy's astrophysics doctoral research at CINESPA, Center for Space Research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
Greetings. I'm Leroy Larry, and welcome to Natural Physics, live from Costa Rica. Today, we have a guest returning from season 1. I'm not going to give it away yet. First, let me say that I received a lot of great, awesome responses from last week's show. Thank you so very much. After teaching freshman physics and English at the University of Costa Rica for 2 years, the equivalent of 4 semesters, the next step would have been for me to teach upper level physics classes, and hopefully in English. English is the spoken language of science around the globe. All international conferences, conventions, workshops, symposiums are conducted in English. Research papers in astrophysics around the world are written in English. If the original language is not English, then they're translated into English. The presentation I gave in Vienna, Austria, at the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, that's a mouthful, right? But the presentation that I gave, the technical presentation I gave as a delegate from Costa Rica in the role of advisor on space education and outreach, was given in English to an international audience. And the Journal of the United Nations that kept track of the proceedings of the meeting was in English. The fact that the upper level classes at the University of Costa Rica were taught in Spanish really does not help the graduate students out much when they need to go out into the world and interact with other graduate students and scientists using English, which is the language of science around the world. At this time, 5 years ago, I presented a perfect solution to the equation of the problem with the thesis. I presented this to the physics department. And what my solution was that I continue to do my astrophysics research at CINESPA, the Center for Space Research, until I acquired enough data to write a thesis, defend it, and publish it. And that thesis would be the foundation for my doctoral research. Perfect solution. It took care of the situation of me not having a thesis with my master's degree. Perfect solution. I still have my master's degree from Tulane University. And then I have a thesis. And remember, when I was at Tulane, I wished I could have done a thesis in astrophysics and or space physics. Well, or space physics. I wouldn't do in both astrophysics and space physics. But I had to get my master's by oral examination because that option was not available to me because nobody on the faculty was doing astrophysics or space physics research. Now, of course, I could have I could have opted to do a thesis in nuclear physics or solid state physics or quantum physics, but my area of interest was space physics and astrophysics. As I said before, so much so that I went over to Houston to Rice University and took supplemental classes to augment the master's degree that I was going to get from Tulane University. Okay, I proposed this solution to the physics department 5 years ago. As with my attempts to have a meeting with the graduate school, do you think I got a response to my solution in all these 5 years? No, zero, nothing, honey. And remember, they actually wanted me to go through their master's program in order to enter into the doctorate program. So what that means is they basically wanted me to retake all the courses that I had already taken at Tulane University. And I think I used the phrase ridiculously insane. Can you see the insanity in that? And the fact that I never got a reply to my solution tells me that the problem was not that whether or not I had a thesis with my master's degree. The problem was that I had a master's degree from another university, not from the University of Costa Rica. That's what it tells me. I had done all the coursework required, right? All I needed, hey, all they wanted was a thesis here at UCR. Okay, I was more than willing to do a thesis. I'd still have my master's degree from Tulane, but then I'd get a thesis here. Okay, and that would take care of that. But the fact that they did not even have the courtesy to comment on my solution, that tells me that the thesis was not the problem. The problem is that I had a master's degree from another university and a very prestigious university. In fact, okay, everybody, this is my bachelor's degree from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Historically Black university, okay? Okay? This opened the door for me to be a scientist, to my dream of becoming an astrophysicist. That opened the door. And that allowed me to go on to Tulane University in New Orleans, Louisiana, very prestigious university. Okay? And I got my master's degree in physics from Tulane University. Now, everybody, this is what I got from the University of Costa Rica 6 years ago. And remember, when I received it, neither I nor my faculty research advisor realized what it was really saying. It was really saying that it acknowledged that I had a master's degree from Tulane, but it said my master's degree was not as good as the master's degree from the University of Costa Rica. Again, ridiculously insane. Ridiculous insanity. Look at what they gave me, everybody. Oh, first, let me show you the cover. Okay? Got my name printed at the bottom. Yeah, okay, whoop-de-doo. Okay. And here's the certificate. looks like it was written out on, I don't know, a typewriter. I mean, compare this, everybody. Okay, compare this with this. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference in quality, right? Okay. You know what? Remember I said last week that I'd give this deal back in a heartbeat. In fact, you know what I could do? I could take the little piece of paper out of here and rip it apart live, right? I don't want it, but that'd be a little dramatic, okay? I just dropped it on the floor. That's pretty much where it belongs. So again, okay, this week I found out from a close family friend who also is a lawyer that the type of lawyer that I need to address this with the University of Costa Rica is a public lawyer. Okay? So I shall do that. I shall provide all the documentation, emails, all the materials I have from 2015 to last week when I received that email from the Graduate School of UCR and my reply. I will provide that to the public lawyer, and I will take this as far as it needs to go until I meet face to face with those old, antiquated UCR administrators that had the insane audacity to say that my master's degree in physics is not equal to a master's degree from the University of Costa Rica. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing. All right. When I gave my presentation at the International Astronautical Federation in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago, and once again, that was in English to an international audience. I mean, English is the language of science around the world. After my presentation, I was approached by a group of attendees that expressed an interest in using my space education and outreach methodology for their endeavor, which was to emphasize the importance of arts in STEAM. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's STEM with arts included. And the goal of emphasizing arts was to encourage more students, especially female students, to get interested, to pursue careers in space science and technology. And my thinking was that, yeah, let's do that. And because Costa Rica is so committed to the conservation and preservation of its diverse natural resources, and in its role as a global leader in sustainable development, I thought Costa Rica would be the perfect place to have this program. Perfect place. Okay? So last week, I showed you the flyer of the program and the program at a glance, but I want to read from it just so you know how ambitious this program is going to be. And unfortunately, we weren't able to have it in May of last year, but we still may get the chance. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is how I met my colleague, Bruce Callum. After I returned here from DC and started organizing things and sending out emails, I get a contact from Bruce Callum, who I hadn't met. And as they say, the rest is history. So what I would like to do, we are on share screen, I think. So I'm going to go here and Ray, please let me know if you cannot. All right. So the first thing I want to do is open up the flyer, and you remember the municipality of Escazú, they requested that in addition to English, that we also have it in Spanish as well. Because remember, now the groups of representatives that were going to be attending this program was going to be CEOs. Whoa, I just heard something in the background, some kind of noise. CEOs, government officials, decision makers, stakeholders, gender equality, teachers, students, and the general public. We were going to have a wide spectrum of attendees to come and listen to presenters around the world, a lot of whom were going to have the option of giving their presentations remotely. Okay. And now this was before COVID hit. Okay. This was just people who wanted to participate from around the world. This was giving them the option to attend, to give their presentation. So this is what we came up with: STEAM powered sustainable development goals. Demonstrating sciences, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as vehicles to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There's 17 sustainable goals altogether. This program was going to address 5 of those: quality education, gender equality, climate action, life below water, and life on land. And as you see from the flyer, it was going to be held for 5 days last year in May. Okay? And 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a 2-hour lunch break. Okay? So, and I had acquired our venue. And I had asked a few other places, right? But the Municipal Civic Center of Escazú agreed, as long as I guaranteed to them that everything, all the documentation would not only be in English, but it would be in Spanish. And because we anticipated a lot of teachers and students from rural areas coming into Escazú to attend this who did not speak English, I also had to guarantee the municipality of Escazú that I would have an interpreter available to interpret from English to Spanish. Okay, so now what I would like to do is I'm gonna read from our program at a glance, and you're gonna see how detailed this was. Okay, all right. So day 1 was gonna be devoted to quality education. Day 2 to gender equality. Day 3 to the A in STEAM, the arts. Day 4, life below water. Topics of the presentations to be given was going to be the current status of the arts at the primary and secondary, role of the arts at the primary and secondary levels in achieving quality education in the classroom. Okay? Second day, Tuesday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Remember, we kicked off season 1 of natural physics with on Cinco de Mayo this year? Okay. Gender equality, including the challenges of exclusion due to gender, bullying, and race. And by the way, everybody, I consider what occurred to me with my application to the doctorate program as being exclusion, being excluded, okay, being discriminated against. And I'm not even including the possibility that there was discrimination due to racially and nationality, okay? Oh, me and my public lawyer, oh, we are going to go down this road completely. Okay. Afternoon session: the role of the arts at the primary and secondary levels in achieving gender equality in the classroom and beyond. Okay. The third day. Now, at this venue, there's a farmer's market that occurs every Wednesday, and I'm actually going to show you photos from that in a minute. But you have music. We were going to have music, poetry, literature, storytelling, arts and crafts, folk dancing, and farmer's market all day, Wednesday, May the 6th. Okay, the next day, Thursday, The topic in the morning session from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. was going to be Costa Rica as a global leader in sustainable development. And then after the 2 hour lunch in the afternoon session from 3 to 6, the topics of all the presentations given were going to be using Earth and space sciences to address climate action, life below water, and life on land in Costa Rica. Okay. And then the final day, Friday, morning session was going to be the arts as a conduit for students, male and female, to develop skills and techniques to use in earth and space sciences. And then the afternoon session, which was going to close out our week-long program, professionals trained to share tools and resources to produce effective, equitable, and accessible science education. And again, everybody, we had representatives from all those groups I mentioned before that had indicated that they would be more than happy to give presentations, and the audience was going to be a wide spectrum of all those 8 groups that I mentioned. It was going to be awesome. It was good. It was ambitious, but it was going to be a national event for Costa Rica, a regional event for Central and South America, and an international event for our global community. So hopefully we'll still be able to do this. Okay, now I'm about to bring Bruce on before, and again, we weren't able to do it. Oh, okay, so we weren't able to do it, but what Tears and I did that Wednesday of the week that we would have been given our program when the farmers market was going on, we went out to the venue. And let me just show you. It has its own webpage, Municipal Civic Center of Escazú. Okay, huge gymnasium, and I actually took pictures on Wednesday, May the 8th, and because we went out there. So let me just show you these pictures real quick. Ray, again, please let me know if you cannot. Let me know if you can see this. Okay, Ray. Okay. I just enjoy so much hearing those applause. Okay. So, okay. Huge facility. It actually was the location of one of the largest high schools in Costa Rica that relocated to another location. So these grounds have now become the Central Civic Center. Okay, there's the farmers market, everybody. Huge gymnasium, right? You can see, so basically, if things would have happened the way we wanted, this farmers market would have been going on during that week on Wednesday, and all the participants would have been able to take advantage of this farmers market, right? Right there on the premises. Beautiful, beautiful grounds, right? Just beautiful. Okay, there I am showing the 2 announcements in English and Spanish, right? You see, I got my my bandana mask on, right? Okay, I just go through these real quick. Okay, now here I'm smiling, and then here I am because we couldn't have our program. Okay, but again, this was the exact week of when we would have had our program, and this is the Wednesday that we would have had our program. Okay, and there's some other pictures. All right, so now, and then the last thing I want to do before I bring my colleague Bruce on is, even though we didn't have the opportunity to, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go back to the business card, everybody. Okay, let me click that up. Again, here's my business card. Now, if you type in LeroyLarry.com or this, you scan this QR code, it will bring you to my electronic business card. And actually, Ray and myself had a very cool idea, everybody. Okay, here's the QR code on its own. You know what you could do? You could print this out and pass it out to your friends or send it email, right? Okay, and if you scan on this QR code, it's so obviously I've never had a QR code before in my life. It's just so cool. Okay, so if you scan on this, or you type in leroylarry.com, up comes my business card. And there's a reason why I'm doing this right now. I want to show Leroy. That's the only time I pronounce my name Leroy. It's Leroy, but for the business card, leroylarry.com. Okay. Now it will come up. And I mentioned last week that Bruce and Isaac Akin Alami Goke had, and myself, we had co presented at the Space Exploration Educators Conference uh, remotely, virtually. So, what I meant to mention was that if you scroll down to the second article that Bruce did with me, pulling back the curtain to reach the stars from the hood to Jupiter. Okay, if you click on this, and like the other two, it'll take you to the actual article. But check this out, everybody. If you scroll down into the article, you can actually bring up the presentation that the three of us did for uh, our virtual presentation, and there it is. Right, click on it, and you can watch the whole deal that the three of us did. Okay, without further ado, I am going to release my share screen, and Bruce, my colleague, it's all yours, everybody. Please welcome. And you know how I said how outreach has its spin-offs, like having the fortunate opportunity to meet individuals like Isaac Akin Alamagoke in Nigeria. Well, the same goes with meeting Bruce Callow and his wife Anna Louisa. Okay, so with that, Bruce, it's all yours. Okay, I'm gonna hang up my.
Roy, thank you much for having me back. And yeah, I indeed have faith that your situation at the University of Costa Rica will be resolved properly. And given the amount of attention and respect that is due a person of your experience, and so yeah, I listened very intently, and I've been following your case there. Just wanted to say that, Leroy.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. That means an unbelievably immense amount to me. It really does. Thank you, my brother. Okay.
No, it's world is complicated enough, and there are enough obstacles and things we cannot control that and something that would seemingly be an easy solution to enable someone of your ability and commitment to continue the work in Costa Rica. Yeah, that cannot stand like that. And things often take a time in Costa Rica, but they sometimes often work out quite well. So I admire your patience in not giving up and take it to its final stage, whether that will some sort of something to do with the Constitutional Court. In Costa Rica, the final say usually is called the Sala Cuarta, and that's the final stage. And especially if someone's not just academics, in some way human rights have been infringed upon, and if there's any inkling of that at all in this case, that needs to be discussed. And if there hasn't been, great. Well, like you say, come out from the shadows and face this, and that's what we're saying to the administrators, whoever they are, who are hiding behind this decision. So it would be unfortunate to take it to a higher constitutional, but that's often the way things get done in this country.
Yeah, Bruce, I don't enjoy legal stuff of any matter. I really don't. And you hit it on the nail when you said that what I want is to make these, whoever they are, meet with me and tell me face to face. That's what I want. Uh, and I just wonder how many other students has this happened to, right? And I'm so thankful to Ray to have this podcast that I can air this out. I can put this out there and let the world know what this university is doing. How you have these administrators cowards behind their desks, and just because of their position, they probably don't know astrophysics from biology, from construction work. They probably don't have a clue what astrophysics involves. And for them to make a judgment on my background without even having the decency and the courtesy to tell me that face to face, I'm not accepting that. And I hope this legal issue doesn't amount to a whole lot of money, but if it does, so be it. Because as I said, what happened last year in the United States, it made me revisit what happened to me 5 years ago. And the more I thought about it, the more disgusted I became at what happened to me. And the more I became determined to not let it not let it continue, not let it just stay that way, to force an end to it, to force these cowards to come out and face me. So you see, I'm getting worked up again. And last week I said I wasn't gonna get worked up, but the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, and what you said, Bruce. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm taking this all the way to the end, and having comments from people such as yourself, Bruce, who, okay, where do I write the check, or where do I send the check for your gracious words, Bruce? The outreach activities that you and your wife do around Costa Rica, oh, huge, so awesome, so internationally important to the world, and I can't wait for you to start telling and everybody. I don't know how much Bruce is going to be able to tell you, but it's going to be the tip of the iceberg of what he and his wife have been doing here in Costa Rica. Believe me, and so please, Bruce, it's please let's hear that.
Well, thank you, Leroy. And we've been a part of it jointly. It was almost a year ago. We were virtually in Houston, and I remember the fan mail that you got after our president. You actually got mail, like literally people licking and sending to you about how what you did. So I felt honored to have been part of that. I was your backup band, your support act, and that was a very proud support act, I must say. And you've been part of our web conferences this year, and I think we've got a short video. Is there sort of summarizing some of those conferences that we did throughout the year? We were able to get basically, I don't know, COVID, because we got like a list, basically A-list or maybe post A-list people to speak to us on Fridays, with the Costa Rica Institute of Technology, basically letting us use their web conferencing facilities. And what better way to spend Friday at 6 p.m.? Gee, like we have anything else to do. We had to be creative. And our outreach after the books were published was to get the hell out there, to get out to communities, to get to the kids, get to places that weren't getting gotten to. And now we're starting to do that again. Just like a couple of weeks ago, we started back with live workshops, and we've got an important one, pretty interesting one in December. But is there a video there that sort of summarizes those conferences? I think we talked a little bit about that, did we?
Yes.
I'm not sure if Ray has that one. Ah, yes.
Great webinars, Bruce. I mean, oh, Friday
Oh,
night.
okay. So we're not.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, like the creator of the Kepler mission. I guess there's no music, which is even better.
Oh,
One of the
the
greatest
one after
space
this.
artists of all time, Vincent de
Yeah.
Fate,
The one after this, your video, it has the
Captain
music.
Kirk from the fan series. Uh, Oh, okay. Well, either way, we could run this one or run both.